Okay, so right now I just put it on the number 4 setting, and this is the REON Pocket 3 to see how cold we can try to get it to go. I think my room temperature right now is almost 90 degrees, maybe like 85, 90 degrees. And so let me get that right on the cold patch. So you can see it actually does get cold, and I didn't think it got this cold. I mean, it felt cold, but perceiving cold by me being a normal person, um, it's always hard to tell, So I mean, I'm about 90 degrees right now. My room's about 90 degrees right now. So it is a bit hot in here. And so with the REON Pocket 3, I was pretty impressed by how the fan is able to blast air. I mean, you could hear the little guy going. And it's such a small, it's such a small package, such a small footprint of an item. And it's just, that fan is just hauling right now. And so I think that's super cool. And so with this number 3, they also added like 4 more temperature sensors and stuff like that. And so it's able to check its temperature on the inside of the device and also regulate more, how hot and cold the plate, because this is a metal plate. I put the silicone sticker on it that comes with it, but I mean, the metal plate that's on it is also checking the temperature of that, checking the temperature of the internals. And then I wish it actually told you temperatures or close to temperatures, like estimated temperatures of what the device was and what the outside temperature was, so you can get a reading for it. Because once you start hitting 100 degrees or hotter than that, it kind of becomes null because the air outside's so hot. Trying to cool you down and then cool down the metal plates, the little fins, the radiator fins on the back, is kind of dang near impossible. But overall, I mean, it's an impressive device, and compared to the number 2, it gets you colder a lot faster, and that's the function I care about the most because I'm always on fire. I'm always super super hot, and so at work it's helped me out a lot because I do get hot and I start to sweat, and I don't like that. You don't want to be all sweaty and gunky at work because it doesn't feel good. And it just looks bad when customers see you like that. And so yeah, I was able to gain about like what 4 degrees less right there. It automatically shut itself off because I can't access the app right now, whatever. But it's able to cool you down a lot faster. I would say like maybe half as fast as the number 2. So this one will cool you down twice as fast as the number 2. And then of course with the new neckband and the little airfoil that it has, that's silicone. I didn't use it at first, but I highly recommend using that now because I've done it with and without, and this just to help that air get away from you. Really freaking effective, even though it's something so simple. And how this new cage, like the little cage around it, so that way it doesn't, your clothes don't cover up that little back airport, is really freaking great. I really do like how they were able to fix that and make it a lot better. Yeah, it makes it a little bit larger, but I've used it for like 2 weeks or so at work and also shopping, and no one's ever said anything about it. I think the only people that have are people that already know what it is because I wore the number 2 to work every now and then on super hot days or when I remember to charge it because I use it mostly when I'm at my desk as well, and when I'll be doing homework and stuff like that, just to save power, I'll use this to cool me down in the house instead of running the AC on all day just to save power. And then, of course, it's cheaper to run this than to cool down a whole room, you know. And so that really helped me out in that sense. And then, so is it a big jump in the sense from the number 2 to the number 3? Not really, because I'm still getting the same battery and also the same performance. When I checked the temperature on this one, it was only like 2 to 5 degrees different from the number 3. Because I now I have the little temperature thing from the number 3, right? But like I'm just still surprised that it's able to get down to the 63s and 65 degrees on either or device. It's just the number 3 is much more efficient and way faster at getting down to those cold temperatures, which really impressed me. I didn't think it was going to be that fast. And then on top of that, when you have this plugged into the wall or into a battery pack, it'll just start taking the power from there, and it'll let the fan go full blast because now you have all this extra power and stuff. And let me say, when you have it plugged in and you're able to do the 4 plus setting, oh my gosh, dude, this thing hauls so much, pulling so much weight, to that fan and cooling down this thing like it's almost dang near instant. That I mean, not instant, but it takes a few seconds, but to get down to that 65 degrees range, and that's the temperature I like it at. And I'm like, I was just so impressed because it's just like, boom, it's just hauling, freaking going so fast to get you to that cold temperature. Um, the number two, you can't do that. Even though they upgraded the firmware and everything on this one, the fan in it is a different fan style than the number three. The number three fan is completely rebuilt and like far superior in all aspects. You know, the number two will just won't let you do that at all. Even the number three, when you have it and it sees you have a number three on the app, it like gives you more access to more settings and like the smart, which regulates the battery usage. And so, like if you're already cold, it'll just try to maintain your cold instead of keeping and maintaining whatever settings you have it on. It'll change like the battery power fluctuation, and it probably does some other stuff with like fan speeds and a whole bunch of other stuff to help the battery life last. But at the end of the day, both of them, the three and the two, almost for me, almost had the same battery life. Because I typically just leave it on the number two setting. Because to me, that feels pretty dang good, and it'll just help maintain it to where I'm not busting out and sweating, which, that's why I have them for. And they both lasted me about 4 to 5 hours, on the number two setting and keeping it on the number two setting. I turned off everything else, like the auto start stop where you put it down and then wear it how it's supposed to automatically remember where you were at and then go from there. And then like the auto start where you hold it for 2 seconds and it'll remember where you were at last and then go from there. I turned all that off because I got annoyed of it. And then I wish you could also turn off how this thing is always looking for the Bluetooth signal. If you don't use it for a minute, it's supposed to go in like sleep mode or something like that. But it kind of never does because it's always on in the background, and it really irritates me that it does that. Um, Before, when I was using the old app, the like 1.10 or something like that, the firmware didn't do that. So when you turned off the number two, it was completely off. I like that much more, being able to control on and off of my devices. It's what what's what I want more. I mean, with the app too, it still gets upset if you don't have location and Bluetooth on. Um, of course, and I think it's the 1.30 is the newest version update for the number three, and all its little features, upgrades, and everything. Um, so yeah, with that one, it still gets like little quirks where it gets upset where this happens, that happens, but more you're able to access more and do a little bit more. Like if the fan gets covered up and the temperature sensor inside sees that the inside of the device gets hot, it'll tell you, hey, check your thing, or something that's not right. The inside of the device is getting too hot, so now it's not efficient or as efficient as it would be to move the air to get you colder faster. And then of course, if you get the neckband, avoid the first neckband. This is the second neckband, and it's much much better. I recommend this one hands down over the number one. The number one's complete trash. I broke it within like a week or two. But just how you're able to adjust it and how it has like this little cage part and the little fin. Great improvements. It's still not perfect, but it's getting there. And so with that, I think that's most of the stuff I could think about from these two. If you have the number one, I would just say skip to number three, of course. But if you have the number two, I would just say kind of wait and let this thing pretty much use it and enjoy it. I kind of see no big jump as far as two to three. But number one, I could see here the number one jumping to this. Whew, man, with this little fan and how it's able to get you down to that cold quickly, pretty dang quickly. It's really impressive. I had some friends over like 2 nights ago, and I just let them, hold it and then just put their hand on it, and I turned it to cold, and they were like, "Oh dang, wow, it gets so cold. Like I wouldn't expect it from such a small thing." And then I'm like, "Okay, now let's try hot." And like one of my friends was scared to hold it because he thought it was gonna burn him, but it doesn't get hot enough to burn you. But it gets toasty, it gets warm, it feels good when you're cold, but I'm never cold, I'm always super hot. So having the warm on it, having the cold on it is what I want from it and what I loved about it. And using that +4 setting on that was amazing, but I'm also scared to use it because I don't want to damage it because it's still, brand new. I've only had it for a little bit. And then, oh yeah, if you can get one at retail, that's great because this one's selling out a lot, the number three. The number two, people are even trying to sell the number two at even more expensive prices, which is crazy. But yeah, try to get the number 3 if you don't have one. Just remember, it's not like a whole AC unit for your shirt. It's like kind of more like a breeze, kind of hitting you on the back every now and then, or like a little ice pack or like a little ice cube, or an ice, like literally like one kind of big-ish ice cube, just kind of on your back of the neck for a minute. Because once you feel that cold, you get used to it, and you kind of forget that you forget that it's there, and then like what I do is I'll kind of just move it around my back a little bit to kind of displace that spot and cool down another spot, then cool down another spot, so that way I can keep feeling it. Because if not, you kind of get used to it, and then it's weird because you get used to it and you take it off and you'll feel like that part of your back, and you'll feel that part and it'll be like icy cold and it feels great, and then you go to the other part, it's like warm. So it's like, what the heck is going on? But yeah, overall, the number 3 is freaking great. The little fan that's in here is pretty dang amazing. I freaking love it. I'm gonna let another friend use my number 2 one. I already set up their phone and everything for it. I got the APK for them. Oh, stop it. And so yeah, I'm gonna let him use the neckband, because like I said, I had the shirts coming in, and I'm excited to use the shirts because I think that's going to be the best way to use it. Even though the shirts, they're only like 2 different kinds, the beige and the white tee. Like, really, you guys couldn't have made more shirts, especially in black or something. So I don't know, it's personal preference, but oh well. So yeah, number 3, impressive little thing, crazy. The 4+ mode is freaking insane. I'm surprised that it can get down to like 65, sometimes 62, 63 degrees. It's freaking crazy. I wish the app would say how cold it was. Um, or like even have like on the app tell you how hot it's going to be, like weather. Like I don't. Maybe it doesn't in Japan, but for me it doesn't because I live in the States. Um, just so you could see how cold and hot, and how how hot you are versus how cold it is outside, or vice versa, or how hot the device is on the inside. 'Cause I don't know, just seeing all those numbers and all the data for me, I think that'd be so cool to see that. Even it possibly could be in the app, but the app is all in English, and I've looked through most of the settings and I see nothing of the sorts. But I could be blind sometimes and miss it. But yeah, so I wish there was more data that you can get a hold of. And then I think that's about it I can think of. Um, yeah, the battery life on both of them was like 4 hours, just on a number 2 setting. Maybe there's something I'm missing to make it even more efficient, but that's what I like it at. And you know, charges fast. I mean, on my lunch break when I went home, I charged it. My lunch break is an hour, and it was able to fully charge itself back up. So I mean, 4 hours for my first half of the shift, for the second half of the shift. So that was great. I wasn't expecting it to charge that fast. That impressed me a lot. And then so I think that's all I got for this one, and all I can think of. And I don't know why it shut off. I think it's because it still has that dumb auto stop start function, and I think it's thinking that it's not being used to turn itself off, um, which is annoying. I said it's not do that, but it still does it anyways. So yeah, that's all I can think about for today. Sorry if this is a bit long of a video. So yeah, that's all I got for the Rayon Pocket family. I'm just missing the number 1-ish. Love these little guys, and I love how tiny and discreet-ish they are. So yeah, so I hope Sony keeps going with this, and they keep making more, so I can keep trying them out and enjoying them. And these things are so cool. So yeah, that's all I got for today, you guys. So thanks for watching.